How are we today? Excited for the AGM that's coming up real soon? John is. I am too. Super keen. Alrighty. So, today's message is probably a bit shorter on the side of things, but packed full of scripture. So get excited to hear so many Bible readings. I've been doing a lot of running recently. I spoke last message about how I was running and how I'm not entirely sure that I could run up a hill if it wasn't for God's assistance and somewhere else to put my mind. And today I'm going to talk to you about running even more. I'm going to start with a Bible verse and hopefully we'll see where this goes. We're reading from 1 Corinthians 9, chapter 9, verse 24 to 27. Do you not know that in a race all of the runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable one. So I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified. There's a lot in there about faith and about running, and we're going to start with the running part. Think back to primary school is where I'm thinking. You know when they make you do the 100 meters, everyone has to go through it, and you're like, okay, all right, we're going to see who is the fastest, and you all know who the fastest kid is. All right, you're like, why are we running? I know that we're not competing for first, because that guy's about to win. Nevertheless, the teachers make you all line up. You're like, okay, I got to run 100 meters, and that's fine. But in those 100 meters, it becomes incredibly apparent who's actually practiced running before and the people that haven't. There's a lot of technique that goes into it. There is even more technique that goes into running a longer distance. If you were forced to do the 100 meters, you get through that. You're like, okay, I ran 100 meters. I didn't win, but I managed. I got there. I found the finish line. About half an hour later, your teachers come up to you like, hey, it's time for the 200 meters. You're like, whoa, that's double. So you start to run, you get to the line, you're like, this is double the distance, and I'm feeling that it's double the distance. I've already run once, now I have to run again, but it's twice as long. This seems unfair. That same kid from before is about to win anyway. And so you run and you get to about the 100 meter mark, you're like, yeah, I did this before, this is fine. And then you find out that the second 100 meters is even harder because your muscles are starting to become tired. And then it gets to the 400 meters and then the 800 meters, and it just becomes worse and worse and worse. When I was in high school, we had a girl in our year level who did little athletics from the age of 5 the whole way through school. We knew that we weren't competing for first place. We were like, yeah, whoever came second really won because she's got first. She's in a league of her own. She was a sprinter. She was very, very good at going very, very fast. So for the 100 meters and the 200 meters, she had it in the bag. The second we got to the 400 meters, however, things started to change a little bit. She was built for power, not endurance. And it became a bit more fair. It became everybody's race. The 800 meters was exhausting, and even more so true. When I got to year 12, she turned to me and she goes, all right, they've been making me do Sapsaza every year, and I just don't have time for it this year. But I know that you can win the 100 if I drop back. So what's going to happen is I'm coming second. I'm not losing. But you can go ahead. I was like, that was a very interesting moment for me to be like, okay, you're letting me win. Weird choice, but okay, let's go. Running is a lot about technique. She knew that I wasn't built for power. That's not how I run. I can run, but not very fast. But with that training, over the years and years of running and running and running, I got a bit faster to the point where she turned to me and she went, all right, I know that you can win this, let's go. And that was a fun moment. In the verse I read just before, it starts with, do you not know that in a race, all runners run? You don't get to that 100-meter line and go, all right, 3, 2, 1, go, and people just start walking, cartwheeling. No, everyone's running. Everyone knows what the goal is. Everyone knows what they're trying to do. You have to run. And then it starts talking about in the verse, every athlete exercises control in all things. This one girl from my high school had been practicing this control year after year, and so of course she was leagues ahead of all of us. And so that's cool. All right, we hear that bit about running, but how does that apply to our lives in faith? We all know the word discipline. Discipline's a fun one. It makes me inwardly groan. It goes, oh, you got to be a little bit more disciplined. It's like, oh, I don't want to. It's going to be hard, and I'm going to have to push through it. And it'd just be so much easier if I didn't have to be disciplined. But that is the trick to continuing to move forward and endure through things. In Isaiah 40:31, God says this, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." The Bible has a lot of running in it. God knows that we are doing something. He's instructing us to do something that is equal to the amount of endurance that you need when you run. God places this promise for us all the way back in Isaiah, that the people that wait upon the Lord, their strength will be renewed. They will be able to continue going. Our strength fails us. Our human strength fails us. If you've ever tried to get better at anything, you know that there is a point where you just can't seem to get past. You'll practice and practice and practice, and you seem to be hitting a wall. Our strength fails us. So you take a break and you let that rest for a little bit, and then about 2 days later you'll come back to it and you realize that you can get past that wall. Waiting in God is like that. He renews our strength. He helps our mind and our heart to meditate and continue to move forward. There are examples of this throughout the Bible. In Hebrews 12:1-2, we read, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely. Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus." He's written it there again. Let us run with endurance. Let us keep our eyes on Jesus. Let us lay apart all of the sin, all of the weight. Let us cast that to him. Wait in him, and he will renew our strength. Running a race and faith in God are two very similar things. We know what the goal is. We look towards the end of our life and we go, okay, we will get to spend eternity with the Father. But every step on the way actually leads us there. When you run, you know where the finish line is, but it's all the tiny little steps that make it there. It's endurance. It's patience. In Romans 5, it says, "We rejoice in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces endurance, endurance character, and character hope." It's not easy. It will actually be really, really, really hard. But that endurance that we build through trying again, that then brings hope and leads us to God. He's with us every step of the way. Otherwise, why else would all of this be written? From the Old Testament to the New Testament, this is not just a race, not a short stretch where we can put things all aside and go, yeah, I'm putting all of my power into this moment. But it's more than an 800 meters. It's a marathon. It takes technique. It takes training. It takes a different mindset to live every day with the Father. Yet he promises us to lift us up and give us life through all of our success and all of our failure. God promises to be our strength. He instructs us to lay aside sin and shame. He encourages us to give our burdens to him because we all have to run, but we don't have to carry the weight of it all. He sends his Son to die for each and every one of us so that we have a place to put that weight. He wants to be with us so much that he literally sent his Son to die. And so we have a responsibility in this to respond, to put one foot in front of the other, to walk with endurance, not failing, not crumpling, but actually trying to move forward regardless. And He's there every step of the way. Something that I have found through running and trying to get better at it is it takes discipline, and I know that I've said that a lot, but I, as a child, you hear the word discipline, you go, oh, I've done something wrong, and now I'm going to be punished. Punishment and discipline are two very, very different things. They're both forms of discipline, but punishment is the negative, okay? So most of you have children or have had siblings, have children, and you know how that goes, how correcting behavior goes. Discipline is what we use when we correct behavior. You're like, oh, yeah, that wasn't the right thing to do, so we're going to fix it. Oh, you threw an apple core on the floor next to a bin. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to pick that up and put it in the bin. That's where it's meant to go. We're correcting that behavior. That is a form of discipline. Punishment is the negative form of that. Oh, you threw the apple core on the floor. You're not allowed to eat apples anymore. You can't throw them on the floor if you can't eat apples. That's a punishment. God encourages us to use discipline. He's not asking us to stop what we're doing, but to correct our behavior, to learn the expectation and create that accountability and connect with the result. In this race that we run, we need to turn to God. All of these little actions that we do, coming to church is a form of discipline. Praying is a form of discipline. Reading the Bible is a form of discipline. All those little moments in life where things get hard, it's correcting ourselves to turn to God, to be able to move forward without that additional weight. My prayer for you this week is that you're able to find those areas of endurance, that you're able to reflect on those areas of your life and see the ways that you could correct, to look to God, because He's always standing with us, walking every inch